the like love bombing I experienced over years with her has made me really struggle with in-person relationships with friends and especially dating, because anytime someone like opens up to me now, or anytime someone like will be like, I really like you or whatever, especially in like the dating scene, I just think like, oh, they just want to like get something off of me and they whatever. And it's like that's the thing that I've really taken with this.
Yeah, it's like it's just a transactional relationship. I know that Corey and Colleen were apparently talking bad about, you mentioned they were talking poorly about you in messages. You saw those. How did you see those, and what kind of things were they saying about you?
They were basically saying that I was running hate pages for them. And this was right after she started getting backlash for the Meghan Trainor tweet. So she was basically
Were you running any hate pages or anything? No. Okay. I'm just asking.
I know that you're just asking, but like, it's so ridiculous to even like, for not saying you because I know you're asking the question, but for anyone, including them, to insinuate that I ever would, because I'd shown nothing but loyalty.
Yeah.
And I started getting sent these back on Twitter, like in 2020. And then I confronted her about it, and she was like saying that I was lying and how dare me and blah, 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 blah. And that's how that happened.
And even with we just said, like, there's definitely some emotional relationship there too, because she was so motivated to continue talking to you. Like, there was definitely some type of like satisfaction or something you were fulfilling with her. And maybe it's like something to do with the content. I find it fascinating that she like became like a family channel and like just started exploiting her kid and stuff kind of after that, because you know how we feel about family channels. But there must have been like some weird, like, and that's why I think this is like a grooming situation, because they're like spending that time as a grown adult, like interacting with someone in that manner. And even like spending the time talking about, you doing these horrible things and stuff. It's like, I just can't imagine having the energy for that. So there was something that motivated her to continue this parasocial relationship with you.
I think it all boils down to, I think in reading everything and like knowing what I know now, I think she's an incredibly narcissistic person, and she continued the relationship. And there's so many people speaking up, by the way, now about their own like DMs and experience. Like it's not my story.
I want to ask you, like, are there a lot of because you mentioned like the 12 people chosen, so those people are also like kind of speaking out as well?
So
or some of them.
So from 2021 to 2023, the group chat that I was a part of, DMs started getting leaked of Colleen being inappropriate. And I was like, where are these coming from? Because all those people were the ones that were exposing me in the moment of me making my video, because she was rallying them to, whatever. So I'm like, where are these DMs coming from? And it ends up getting validated that there was 3 members of the group that felt bad, and they started leaking them. And now probably most members, except probably 1 or 2 who were in that group, have reached out and apologized to me. And we're like, if you need us to speak up, we'll speak up. And there's a couple people that are like, this situation was so bad that I will not speak up unless it's anonymous. Because the group chat lived on past, me being in it. I left, before my video. So there was there was that, yeah.
So you posted your video. After that video goes up, did Colleen privately reach out to you?
No, but she started messaging people saying like, basically like, how can we get him to stop?
Oh, like trying to get people on her side, trying to get a team behind her to like kind of support,
Her team, by the way, was fellow like children and young adults. Yeah, because that was what got validated in Cody Tyler's video. Was immediately she confided in Cody, because Cody was a YouTuber, whereas I was her YouTuber that did the dirty work. Cody was now the other one. And Cody showed all these messages, which go to show that in Colleen's apology, she says she never spoke bad about me. She would never do this. She was just trying to, make this video, and she would not speak about a minor and blah, blah, blah. It's been proven that she spent the 2 weeks between my video and her apology basically trying to take me down and get as many people to feel bad for her and villainize me as possible.
When addressing everything came out from Colleen, like, one, how did you like feel in that moment, just seeing that go up? And then 2, like, what are some of the statements that she made that you just like that sit with you still, that like irk you inside, that you're like, that is just not true?
It was the worst. It was actually the worst. I knew it was coming. And it just was awful. And I'm so glad people are looking back on it now and being like, well, none of this really adds up. And the fact in her apology video, she was manipulatively editing clips to make me look bad, like, goes to show everything. In terms of Sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Like, what statements or what are some things she said in her video that you're like, that is total BS, like you're wrong here?
She put her own insecurities and faults onto my mother and said basically along the lines of, I'm not going to talk shit about a minor. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm not going to show our messages. He's a minor, blah, blah, blah. I'll talk about the parents. So she talks about my parents. However, behind the scenes, she was talking about me at length. So she was also talking shit about me and then brought my mom's parenting into it. And that's the main thing. For me to move past this, I want me and both of my parents by name to have a private and public apology. And then I'll stop talking about this situation.
Yeah. I mean, that's really this is like such a cop out on her end. It's like, now you're going to be the adult. Like, oh, now it's like, and like, you know, we're talking about the parents because it's inappropriate, like convenient for her.
Something that's really ironic is my mom ended up messaging her and was like, this is Adam's mom. Like, now you know how it feels like when someone's like mistalking to your child, like never speak his name and tell Corey the same. What's ironic is Colleen never responded to that message, but had no problem responding to a minor. And also, if you compare that with the message she sent me before I met up with her in Dublin, where she was like, wait, are your parents coming? Because the worst thing in the entire world for Colleen was for me to be with her, with my parents, because she wouldn't be able to act in an inappropriate way with me, which is all she did.
Yeah, she would have been like psyched out.
Yeah.
So now, you know, I've been seeing this situation all over the internet. Before we get into your video you recently posted, what kind of like, why did this start coming up again and kind of like led you, I don't want to talk about your video yet, but just like kind of like what was there a Reddit thread or what was like happening that caused this to resurface?
Well, there's a Colleen Ballinger snark on Reddit, and over the past couple years, they've started like calling out how wrong she was in that situation, and she was the only one who really started doing that. And then the members of the group chat started leaking the DMs to the Reddit. So then the Reddit have all of these DMs of Colleen asking me if I'm a virgin, what my favorite sexual position is, can she have like ass pics, and like all these like different inappropriate talks, and the things about like her talking about the abusive marriage and trauma dumping and blah, blah, blah. So it was out there. And I was like, right, I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not going to comment on it. Like, it's just on Reddit. I'll ignore it, whatever. And then it was whenever Cody made the video and was like, here's Colleen DMing Adam, like if he's a virgin and blah, blah, blah. So then I had to address it.
Yeah. So you posted the video, my relationship with Colleen Ballinger. And, you know, I think you're also starting to like advocate for other people who are standing up as well, which is super important. How has this, what kind of, I mean, you wanted to address it because of everything coming back up again, but like, how has it been talking about it again? Like for you personally, like, do you feel, because it's a weird relationship, and I feel like now you're kind of in the thick of it all over again. You're probably going through those emotions. I mean, everyone has been really supportive, nonetheless, but how do you feel about that video right now?
I just know that for the support that I'm getting now, she's a manipulative person and her end goal will be to take me down. And I acknowledge that. And that's fine. And it's coming. I don't care. I could get, like last time, death threats, doxing, my parents getting, thrown under, all these different things. This time is different because this time the amount of people that have spoken up about their own grooming or within members of her family, or whether it was her or Corey or inappropriate talk or anything, the amount of people that are tweeting being like, okay, now I feel comfortable. This has been sitting and weighing on me for so many years. I do not care if tomorrow I'm the villain on the internet because, like last time, she's able to manipulate and edit things. It's what she's best at. I do not care this time because the amount of people that I've allowed to feel that they can comfortably share a story about an abuse of power or an abuse in general, that for me, I don't even look at the video in a selfish way anymore. Whereas maybe in 2020, I was like, oh, like, the truth needs to be out there, whatever. This time I'm like, this was brought up, didn't ask for this to be brought up. Now I'm going to talk about it to the extent, and others now feel that like they can talk about theirs. And honestly, again, I could be the villain tomorrow, but at least I've allowed a lot of people to feel that they can speak up. I mean, there's ex-employees of her speaking up. There's ex-fans of her. There's fans that are speaking up, ex-friends. I'm not responsible for any of that. But if I could have been below that allows people to feel that they can then speak their voice, I don't care if she makes me the villain, honestly, because it was worth it.